Do you consider yourself a strong woman? The kind who can take a hit, who doesn't bend in the face of challenges, who holds her head high even when the world seems to be falling apart. That's great. But what if I told you that this very strength, without a solid foundation of inner wisdom, could be precisely what the world uses to break you? Think for a moment. How many times have you felt the weight of expectations, the sting of an unexpected betrayal, the exhaustion of fighting for something that seems unattainable? The world, with its unpredictability and injustices, has a peculiar way of testing our resilience, of pushing us to our limits. And often, it's precisely our strength, our ability to keep going, that prevents us from pausing and asking, am I truly getting stronger or just hardening myself for the next blow? The truth is, being strong only on the outside, without inner preparation, is like building a beautiful house on sandy ground. At the first storm, the cracks begin to appear. We live in a world that teaches us to be strong in countless ways, to be perfect mothers, tireless professionals, understanding partners, devoted daughters. We carry invisible burdens, social pressures, and often the pain that comes from disappointments, losses, or injustices that seem to haunt us. And what do? We endure, we hold on, we swallow it, until the day something breaks inside. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that flourished in Greece and Rome, doesn't invite you to be cold or indifferent. Far from it. It invites you to be unbreakable, not by being impenetrable, but by being flexible and wise at your core. It teaches you to transform every scar into a guiding star, every stumble into a stepping stone, and every pain into a source of power. It's not about avoiding pain, but about learning to dance with it, to extract the lesson that will take you to a new level of wisdom and peace. Human history is replete with narratives of pain. And for us women, these stories often come with nuances of silent resilience and overcoming. Think of historical figures or even the women in your own family who faced immense losses, discrimination, or sacrifices. They didn't completely break. Why? Because even without the label of Stoics, they embodied principles of acceptance, discernment, and inner strength that are the very soul of Stoicism. This is the essence of the Stoic dichotomy of control, focusing on what is within your power and accepting with serenity what is not. For a woman who often feels compelled to control everything and everyone around her, her family, her work, even the emotions of others, this lesson is a game changer. Freeing yourself from the illusion of control over externals is like taking an immense weight off your shoulders. So, see how pain can turn into wisdom when you apply this principle. Imagine the pain of a betrayal. The first reaction is anger, hurt, perhaps a desire for revenge, or to prove your worth to whoever hurt you. But Stoicism invites you to pause. Can I control the other person's action? No. Can I control my reaction? Yes. Instead of being consumed by pain and reactivity, you can choose to observe that emotion, acknowledge its presence, but not allow it to dictate your actions. You can ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me about myself, about my limits, about what I truly value? It is in this process of introspection and analysis, in this act of transforming reactivity into reflection, that pain transmutes into wisdom. The scar remains, but it is now a map, not an open wound. He reminds us, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about events. How many times do we disturb ourselves more with our interpretation of something than with the event itself? A careless comment, a missed promotion, a relationship that didn't work out. The event happens. Stoic practice gives you the tools to disarm these internal monsters, to question your own judgments, and to replace them with a more rational and virtuous perspective. Spirituality in this journey manifests not in rigid dogmas, but in the connection to something greater than your immediate self. For many women, this could be the force of nature, a sense of community, or a belief in universal order. The Stoics spoke of the logos, the universal reason that governs the cosmos. For you, it might be faith in your own capacity for resilience, the belief that there is a greater purpose even in your difficulties. When pain comes, and it will, this spiritual connection, this Stoic mindset, reminds you that you are part of something vast, that you have the ability to go through whatever comes, maintaining your integrity. Think of the metaphor of the seed on asphalt. The seed has life within it, but if there's a tiny crack of light, a drop of water, it will fight to sprout, not through violence, but through persistence and the life that pulses within it. Your pain can be the asphalt, and Stoicism is the internal strength that allows you to find the crack and sprout, not despite the pain, but through the pain. It's important to understand that this journey isn't about denying your emotions. On the contrary, it's about feeling your emotions fully, but with discernment. A Stoic woman is not a robot without feelings. She is someone who allows herself to feel the sadness of loss, the frustration of failure, the anger of injustice. She observes them, learns from them, and directs them toward constructive actions, instead of drowning in them or allowing them to consume her in destructive reactivity. This is the difference between strength that hardens and strength that liberates. The Stoic mindset teaches us to live with virtue in all circumstances: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When pain tries to break you, wisdom will make you question your judgments. Justice will remind you to act with integrity, even when others fail. And temperance will help you maintain emotional balance without extremes of euphoria or despair. These are not just beautiful words in ancient books. They are compasses for the life of a woman who refuses to be defined by her scars. Pain, my dears, isn't an enemy to be avoided at all costs. It's a severe but just teacher. It arrives to show us where we are still vulnerable, where we still place our peace in things or people beyond our control. The story of how pain turned into wisdom is, in essence, the story of accepting that lesson. It's not about pretending it doesn't hurt, but about acknowledging the pain, feeling its impact, and then asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to become stronger, wiser, more compassionate? It's like the process of polishing a diamond. It needs pressure and friction to reveal its inner brilliance. Your pain, with a Stoic mindset, can be the pressure that reveals your own unshakable brilliance. Think of the times you felt most broken. Perhaps an unjust dismissal, the end of a significant relationship, an unexpected illness, or the feeling of not being good enough. In these abysses, a fork in the road appears. You can let yourself be consumed by victimhood, by the anger that embitters you, or you can, like a Stoic warrior, seek the lesson. The woman who chooses the Stoic path doesn't deny the wound, but observes it, understands it, and consciously decides not to allow that wound to define her future. She transforms it into a catalyst for growth. She rises not out of blind pride, but from a deep conviction in her capacity for resilience. This is the true beauty of feminine Stoicism. It doesn't strip you of sensitivity. It gives you the strength to feel deeply without being crushed. This transformation of pain into wisdom manifests in practical actions. When you're faced with criticism, instead of getting offended and retaliating, you ask yourself, is there any truth to this? If so, how can I improve? If not, why am I giving power to this opinion? When a plan fails, instead of despairing, you reflect, what was within my control and what wasn't? What can I adjust for next time? This is continuous self-analysis, an essential Stoic practice. It's like an invisible shield that protects you from the arrows of reactivity and frustration. And for women who often internalize guilt and others' failures, this practice of discernment is a liberation. We aren't mere pawns of fate. We have the ability to shape our perception, our attitude. Stoicism invites us to act according to reason and virtue, aligning our actions with what is good and just, regardless of the external outcome. This is an act of faith in your own integrity, in your ability to be good and do good, even when the world doesn't reciprocate. It's a faith that by acting virtuously, you are on the right path, no matter how winding it may seem. As the wise Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't disturb yourself with the future, for you will meet it if you have to, with the same reason which today arms you against the present." This quote is a balm for the anxious soul of the modern woman. It reminds us that we have the internal resources to deal with whatever comes if we focus on the present and our capacity to respond. For the woman who has felt broken or who fears breaking, the message is clear. You already possess the seed of unbreakability within you. Stoicism doesn't put it there. It waters it, illuminates it, and helps it germinate. It teaches you to love your fate, to accept adversities as opportunities to strengthen your soul, to find tranquility in chaos and wisdom in pain. A woman who doesn't break because her strength comes from a place the world cannot touch, her mind, her virtue, her unshakable serenity. Start today to forge your inner armor, not of steel, but of self-knowledge and discernment. Your journey to becoming truly unbreakable begins now. If this message resonated with you, if it touched your soul and made you reflect on your own strengths, then I invite you to a simple act of recognition and support. Like this video, because your like is a sign that we are building this community together. Share it with that strong woman you admire, the one you know also needs this inner armor to protect herself before the world breaks her. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our next encounters with Stoic wisdom.